Keep them that way, YouTube. Don't leave them out of their case, YouTube. So for the last 15 years or so, my Amiga has been in constant denial about her age. She's been thinking it's 1991 this entire time, pretty much. Well, that's because the real-time clock that comes with the Amiga, as you can see here, the A501 is well, there were lots of them made, some of them by third-party manufacturers, but this is the official one from Commodore for the Amiga 500, the A501. There are a couple of these ones made as well. This is a Revision 5. It goes with the Revision 5 motherboard for the Amiga. There was also a Revision 6, which is currently in this one. I got two of them right now. First thing you learn pretty much when you are diving back into real hardware is, get this sucker, take it out of its case, get rid of the battery that came with it. The rechargeable cylinder-looking battery goes right here, and they leak. They just constantly, that's a big problem with a lot of the Amigas, not just the ones with these cards, but even it's much worse if you have one of those batteries on the actual motherboard. The good thing about these cards is it's kind of away from the motherboard, especially if it's encased in its original metal shell. It's pretty much confined just to this RAM board. So if it did leak on the Amiga 500 anyway, the worst that could happen is you've destroyed this. On other Amigas, it's much more dangerous. And today we are going to be putting a battery back into this board here to bring the Amiga back into the 21st century. I'll be calling this an unnecessary surgery video because, well, it's quite unnecessary. I mean, if you have one of these boards, just like I've been doing for, over 10 years, just rip out the battery, goodbye to the battery, that's all. You don't need a battery. You don't need to have this thing's clock running. The RAM is nice, but you don't need the clock for a 1987 computer. It's really not required in any way, shape, or form. It's completely unnecessary. Plus, there is already a video that I happen to watch that, although it has some shortcomings, I was able to follow it enough to accomplish the end result. And that is a Jan beta video, so I will link that in the description as well as over there, I think. And there are some shortcomings to that video, and I think he admitted it in his own video. There's a couple of things he got wrong or reversed, which is not made clear in the video, so I will be correcting those here. But nevertheless, if I'm able to watch a singular video and figure it out on my own, it's an okay video. So I gotta definitely give him credit there for that. And he's far more technical than I am, so definitely check that video out. But he did get a couple things wrong. He said he hadn't been sleeping very much when he made that video, so I will be correcting those here because I can see the potential for others to watch that video, and because I was confused. I was confused at first because some of the stuff he was saying, I was like, that doesn't sound right. But I was able. So if you can watch one video, I mean, personally, I could watch his video and I figured it out. But just in case other people are having any issues, I'm going to make this, and just to show my excitement and everything for doing this very unnecessary thing here. So firstly, I wanted to show you that I've already done the operation itself. I wanted to test this one out for a little while. I first did it on this board itself. I just wanted to show you that it is working. This computer has been off for, I don't know, since last night, I think. So we're going to turn it on now, and we're going to check the time up with the cell phone, and see if they match. They matched yesterday, so just going to show you that it's indeed working still. So the time is 4:19 on October 24th. It is a Wednesday. And there, Wednesday, 24th, October 18th, 1619. 1619 is 4:19, but we will show you in terms of the analog and digital clock in a second here. If I bring up the clock, you will see there. It is correct. Digital, 4:20 p.m. 4:20 p.m. We can put the seconds on, and we can put the date on. 24th October 2018. I went to take care of a few things. Many minutes later, it's now 4:34. It is 4:34, so it is working perfectly fine, yeah. We turned her off, and now we can let's get the sucker out of the trap door, the actual thing we're working with here. Out of the trap door. Come to me. There we go. And there we have it. I should have cleaned it. It is full of fucking fingerprints. Alright, so this is the board still covered up. They are covered for a reason. Keep them that way, YouTube. Don't leave them out of their case, YouTube. Now they come soldered in, so you will have to either desolder them or pick at them quite a bit. But now that I have desoldered it, it does come apart okay, I think, if I remember. It should just, there we go. Yes. Snug enough that it won't fall out on its own, but easy enough to get at if you have to. So there's the one side, and I think we've got to take it out the same way, huh? Come on, board, let's get out. So this is the revision 6, which actually does look quite a bit different than the revision 5, as you see here. There's a lot less RAM chips needed on this one because it's bigger, so it's a lot more space to this board. And as you will see, there is a battery on this one, just a typical watch coin cell battery. You can still get a hold of the cylinder batteries, or the rechargeable ones, if you want to. I think that Amiga kit or whatever, I think that store sells them. I was thinking about doing that, but I don't know. It's like those are dangerous with the leaking and stuff. These coin cells are 100% safe. They'll last you several years. And when it dies, I mean, was it that hard for me to take it out, take the thing apart, and access the coin cell? No. That's what Commodore should have done from day one, is just put a damn regular watch battery in it, but they didn't do that. This same method should work for all kinds of Amigas, not just this A501. If you have an Amiga 2000 or something with a clock on board, the system itself, it should be the exact same way, or just slightly modified to your own board's needs. Now, what you will need if you want to do this is obviously an Amiga with some kind of a a battery board or something inside or out, like these A501 boards. I will be specifically covering the A501 boards, but I do believe this can be done to any Amiga with a battery board. Secondly, you will need a coin cell battery holder. This is directly off of an old PC motherboard. I desoldered it from there, and I soldered it into this one. I also soldered it into this one earlier for testing purposes. This, I'm sure you can get this from Amazon for like 20 cents, I imagine. But just to keep with the theme of unnecessary surgery, I got it from a spare motherboard on a PC. Just desoldered it from there, and I put it onto here. But if you don't have access to one, I'm sure super cheap. You will need the battery itself, which is a standard battery, a lithium cell CR 2032. It's a regular sized coin cell battery. Now the only thing difficult, now the only possibly difficult thing to obtain, which I did have to pay for, but not necessarily, it's also something you should be able to find around if you want to do it for free. And that would be a resistor, which you find here. It's also on the board itself. You can find one of these resistors. There's two of them. There's two of these resistors on the A501 original Revision 5 board. It's the little tiny red ones. I've heard them described as the single most common resistor that you can possibly find. I have them here in a 120-piece diode set. I really wanted to get this, like, and do it, somewhere locally. Like, this is a thing, like, you would have normally been able to get these at Radio Shack. This is the default thought is, oh yeah, Radio Shack, go to Radio Shack. The closest Radio Shack to me now is in frickin' Ohio almost. It's like 60 miles away. Unfortunately, there is no longer a Radio Shack, but I got them from Micro Center, and that's the only place locally I could find them. Micro Center is amazing, and it is very close to me, but Micro Center, there are more popping up, but it's still, I think you're still considered somewhat lucky to have a Micro Center in your vicinity, but for those kind of things, they kind of have replaced thankfully, Radio Shack, to get those little parts that normally you can't really get a hold of anymore. Again, Amazon, of course, you can get them from Amazon, and less than $1. This is these little tiny red-ish diodes here. They are part number 1N4148, and their volt resistance is rated for 75 volt. Now we need this because normally the Amiga is expecting to recharge your battery while the Amiga is on. It recharges it, so when the Amiga is off, it can still maintain that, and then when the Amiga is on again, it will, it wants to charge. But in order to stop, because if you just do the normal coin cell battery, which is not a rechargeable battery, you just put that sucker in, it'll go boom, I think. I mean, yeah, I think it will. I think it might go boom. So what you need to do is put a diode in there to resist the charging that the Amiga wants to do. And again, and that diode is all you need to accomplish that. Again, if there was any problem, it would have happened very soon, and I've been messing with it for over a month on the two cards. So I'm telling you, this diode here is all you need. You can get one from Amazon. You can get one from any spare board you have lying around, I'm sure, if you really don't want to buy some. But again, it is the 1N4148 diode, and I'm sure it'll be a part of any variety pack as well, if you can get a hold of a variety pack. So that is required. Technically, the coin cell holder isn't really required either, because you can just you can solder, a wire to the top of the battery. You can solder a wire to the bottom of the battery. You can find some way to keep it still or whatever. You don't really need the coin cell either, but it makes it look nice and it fits, perfectly. The way Jan Beta did it originally, it did not fit right. It's because he had it flipped around. Jan had the top part here, the positive part, he had it over on this end of the board, and that will interfere with one of the caps and leave it kind of unsteady and kind of like on an angle there, and as well as being completely on the wrong end. I guess he got it to work for a little while, which is why he completed the video. If he turned it around, it would still work, I guess, but then it failed eventually, and he noted that in his description. But yeah, and that was the thing. I was like, that doesn't look right. That shouldn't be right. But yes, positive is on this outer end here. The ground is on this end. But I will show all of that in a close-up. That is all you need. Is the coin cell holder, and only if you really want it to look nice. You need a coin cell battery, and you need a resistor, and of course you need a soldering gun, and probably a little bit of solder to go along with it. And with that, let's get to it, shall we? So here we have all of the basics of what we need here. So pop this battery out. Again, a lithium cell, CR2032. The diodes here is the pack I got, $17 from Micro Center, in case you wanted to buy this exact same pack for some reason, if you have a Micro Center near you. But these diodes that you need in particular, the 1N4148, with a voltage rating of 75 volts. You shouldn't need too much solder. It depends, really. It depends on when you took this out. Did you take out all of the solder when you did it, or is there still some solder left in there? There's still some solder left in this one. I think I needed it. I put a little solder for the resistor. I did put a tiny bit of solder onto that. But that's about it. You'll need a solder gun. Pointed tip would be nice for this. Let's get to it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. You'll need one of these. I'll take this apart on camera, just in case you guys are also doing what I did originally and taking that part out of a different board altogether, if you didn't buy one. First things first, let's take, well, I guess we're going to need to take the resistor off. This one on this board is located in a tiny bit of a tight spot as compared to the original Revision 5 board here, where the locations are much which are much more spread apart compared to anything else, so you won't have to worry about anything else with the original Revision 5 board there. But with this one, it is definitely closer to a couple places, but I didn't have a problem myself with it. Alright, got that one out. Yeah. There we go, got the diode out there. Right, got the one end out, I can feel. Release. I got it out. Oh god, did I get any of that on the damn thing? I hope so. I don't think I did. Oh well. I got it out. So here is the coin. So here's the coin cell there for you guys. So now which board do we use? We're going to use them both just to show you the example. And because I tested them both out, you want the negative goes on this end. The positive goes on this end. That's what Jan had backwards, I believe. Jan had it. I think he went this way or something like that. No, he did it this way at first, and then it didn't actually clear with the case. So he went like that, and that is when it interfered with this diode there. So if you do it the right way, it should fit perfectly snug, flush, parallel with the board itself. So you line it up, line up the prongs with those holes there. Line them up in there. Press down on them. And then press onto the solder point, and it should pop through. I felt that one pop in. And we go to the second one, which is there. And that one popped right in. Nice. And as you will see, as simple as that, it is perfectly flush and in there. That is when you put the resistor in. For demonstration purposes, I will use the used resistor that I got from the other board, and I'll put a fresh one when I do that board again. But just for the demonstration here, for this particular board, you will line them up. If it has solder already, you might be perfectly set to go. Why'd you do that? You bastard, you. You do that. Get over there. Get on there, you. Thank you. Stay. Stay. Don't be a dick. There, that should stay. And on the other side there. Hot, 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 but good. That is in, and then you can just clip off the sides here, and you would be perfectly good to go. And you pop in the coin battery again. If you do this right, it should fit perfectly snug. Props up against that diode. You got it the wrong way. Positive goes over here. The ground down there. And this one does actually label it here. You see plus, negative. So this one actually labels the correct placement of it here. So it makes this one very, very easy in terms of figuring that out. Alright, and I have recovered the battery from the original. And we're going to put it into this one again. That's the positive. Line them up on the board here. Press them together. Push on them. And then lightly press your gun on there, and it floated right in there. Put quite a bit of solder on this one, didn't There we go. Got it in. Nice. And once you get that in, you will need your diode. I guess, I don't know. Ow, 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 ow. Get down, get down. Get down and stay down. There. Oh, come on, you suck. You suck. Thank you. Perfect. Stay there. I like it there. Stay away from the other parts. Good. You're in nicely. For the other side. That one's going to be nice and simple, isn't it? Thank you. Just the way I like it. Good. Work with the solder gun is now complete. You can then cut the traces off. I have a better one of these somewhere. I can't find it at the moment though, so I'll just do it this way. It'll be fine. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. And there you go. One nicely fitted diode resistor between those 2 points on the revision 6. And there you go. You are all set to go. Pop in your battery, your CR2082. Pop that sucker in. And you're good to go. You are good to go. Now what we should also show us putting it back together into the sheet here. So, how do you go in? Are you going this way, or do you go in this way? Twos go there. Maybe this way. Right? No. It's this way, alright? So, line these prongs back up. Get in. There we go. You're in. What else? You down. There's room for a fourth one on the revision 6, but there's not actually a spot for it, so whatever. There we go. That is in. And then here. Should be like this. That one's in, that one's in, and that one's in. You can kind of just press it a little bit with your finger. That's enough. Or even a flathead. Just to make sure that these won't be going anywhere until you next need to screw with them. But please put the board back. Please put the cover back on, everybody. And there you have it. She is good to go. Right back into your Amiga. So now we got our RAM with a battery in it. It is now ready to go back into the Amiga, and we can set the clock up right. Put her in. start her up. Thursday, 6th of October, 1944, 6:54 p.m. So when you first put it in, it's gonna put some date in there. I don't know how exactly it's figuring out 1944. I believe it's supposed to default to 1978 or something, but anyway, apparently it's 44 this time around. So in your Workbench directory, either floppy or hard drive, it does not matter. Go to your Preferences folder, load up Preferences, and there it is, October 6, 1944. Change that to the correct time. This is an updated version of the Preferences, by the way. I believe it has issues going above 2000, but I think Gateway themselves, actually in 1997, Gateway released an updated version of Preferences for the classic Amiga hardware, which would allow it to go above 2000. So, current date. It is almost 5 o'clock, Tuesday, October 30th. Happy Halloween, everybody, tomorrow. So it's 44 is the year, so yeah, change that to 30, change that to October, change that to 18, and it's 5 o'clock, so 17 o'clock. See if we can wait on the money here to save it. There we go. Save at 5 o'clock directly. That should be all. It should automatically save it at that point. And in case you don't already have the command in Workbench, I will show it to you through Excellence. The command you need to have set in order for the system to load it from the real-time clock upon boot up. So load your startup sequence via any word processor. Workbench itself comes with a micro Emacs or whatever the hell it is. It comes with another one too. I don't like them. I use Excellence. So it's right here. Very simple command. Set clock, load. Set clock, space, load. That's all you need, and it will load the system time directly off of your real-time backed up clock, which you have already saved via the Preferences. So it's as simple as that. We will shut down the machine. If I just reset it, it'll still be going off of what Workbench had. But we will completely turn off the machine. We will come back in a few minutes, and at that point you will see that it still works. October 30th, Tuesday, 5:11 p.m., 17:11. It should 50, so that means it's right about 5:12. So there you go. If we load up the clock here, there we go. There's an analog there. 5:12. Let's put it into digital to better easily understand it. Seconds on, date on. I hope everybody enjoyed this video here. Again, this is not necessary. You can absolutely do this with any. You don't have to have a hard drive or anything. You can just insert a Workbench-like disk. It doesn't have to be Workbench even. You can insert a word processor, something that goes into Workbench and has the preferences command or the set clock command in the shell. You can go in there and you can set the clock up as long as you have the battery in there, and that's all you need. Again, it's even more. It would be even more unnecessary if you just run off a floppy, because again, the only use you'd have for it is the rare occasions you put in a Workbench type of disk or a word processor or something like that. It's unnecessary on a hard drive too, but it has more use because I'm always in Workbench, messing around with stuff. So it's utterly unnecessary thing. It's just for your own weird kind of sensibilities. I don't know. I haven't had a working clock on this thing in many years, so it's just whatever. It's just a thing I have now. I'm looking for better clocks though. The one included with Workbench is not the greatest thing ever. Plenty of other programs would use this. So Discmaster, for example, has the clock up there, 5/16, Tuesday 30th. It gets the date wrong. It has like a semicolon and 8. I think there's a fix for this. I swear I saw one a long time ago for Discmaster to put the correct date on there. That's a software thing. So some of this software is not compatible with dates going over 2000. It's not the Amiga itself. The Amiga is fully capable. It knows 18 means 2018. There will be more things ahead where it will be glitched up, I think 2040 something, and then again there's another thing 2070 something or 2000, I don't know. There's some things in the future. And Directory Opus has its own thing here, 10, 30, 18, 518. So it actually knows it's 2018 there. We can also iconify it, and there it is. It gives you this little thing here, which you could put up here or something, and it would have your memory, and it would say 10, 30, 18, 518. It's about to click over to 519. There we go. And you can even have that start up when Workbench starts too. I think you can have the clock start up with when Workbench starts, but I don't know. Can you actually keep the clock down here? Because every time I load it, it starts up here, and it starts with an analog clock. I mean, I don't know. I'm very much looking for something that would maybe like go directly into the Workbench thing, or a window or something, or some kind of alternative to the system clock. If you know of anything, let me know, please. I think I've covered everything for you guys, though. Get your RAM out. Solder in a battery holder. If it doesn't work, if you put it together and you find it's sort of keeping the time, like you turn it off, and then you can wait for however long, you turn it back on, and it seems like it kept the time from the last time it was actually on. That means something is sort of working in there. Go back, solder it up again. So I hope this was useful to some of you out there. Thanks to Jan Beta for his original video, which was far more technical than mine is, but it was the catalyst to make me believe I could do this, because I've looked up stuff long ago about how to do this, and it was never presented in a way in which I could understand anything. There was a couple moments in his video which had me a little perplexed, because he reversed things and stuff, but overall it was very well presented. So I'm going to point you all to that one and some other videos. Check them all out. Have a good day. Happy Halloween, even though you won't see this until November, I'm sure. This takes me forever to do anything. There's been stuff I've been working on for years, and I put out. Anyways, have a good day. Goodbye.